year is 2003. In a lab in France, Bernard Lascola is examining what he thinks is an old bacteria sample from the archives. But as he looks through the lens of his high-powered microscope, Lascola is shocked. This is no bacteria. The sample was misidentified. This is a monstrous virus. The virus, later named Mimi, shattered the view of what a virus could be. It's long been thought all viruses were tiny, that they were essentially lifeless, and that they need cells in order to replicate. Mimi changed everything. First of all, it was gigantic.
So does anybody know what the T number is?
Mimi is a big, kind of overweight virus that's got too much stuff. And that extra bloatedness comes from the fact that it's carrying a whole bunch of genes that viruses don't normally carry, and that makes it start to look like it can do cellular-type functions.
Some of the genes in Mimi are startling. They suggest that long ago, Mimi might have been able to replicate without a host. And if that was the case, Mimi wasn't like other viruses. Maybe it wasn't a machine. Maybe it wasn't a parasite. Maybe at one time, it was alive. Young and Douglas know this is a controversial idea. Critics claim Mimi simply stole some genes from a cell. End of story. Young and Douglas disagree. They point to evidence that indicates Mimi's genes are simpler and therefore could be older. To many investigators, this means Mimi didn't steal the genes. On the contrary, it may have invented them long before there was complex life. Young and Douglas imagine that going back in time, early Earth might have looked something like this. For eons, the planet was basically mats of simple life, like bacteria. A world we'd hardly recognize today. But there were viruses. Young and Douglas think it's possible that an ancient Mimi-like virus might have invented the instructions for life to become more complex and then inserted them into primitive cells. They also think that a Mimi-like virus could have served as the first cellular nucleus, the command and control center that enabled life to get more elaborate. Could viruses really be responsible for injecting code into cells, paving the way for life to evolve from slime to the first animals to humans?